Get a £5 free bet every week with Offer Club from William Hill. Simply stake a total of £20 or more across the week on pre-match football accumulators with 4 or more selections, and you'll get a £5 free bet on the Friday. Join William Hill Offer Club on mobile or online now.
This is Kugan Cassius for IFL TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella. We're in Texas here, ahead of Canelo versus Smith, fighting on the card this Saturday. I'm joined by Gabriel Rosado, takes on Willie Monroe Jr. How are you, Gabe?
I'm good, man. Just finished a good workout. You know, weight's on point. I'm 160 right now, so we're on, and it's Wednesday, so I'm good.
Caught a little bit of your session in the gym. Everything on point for obviously the weigh-in on Friday.
Yeah.
Obviously, the fight with Willie Monroe Jr. Wasn't announced too long ago. There are many question marks about who you will be facing on this card.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you were happy with that choice of Willie Monroe?
Yeah, because, you know, we really didn't have to make too many changes. You know, originally it was supposed to be Billy Joe. And we were probably like 3 weeks into camp, getting ready for Billy. And, you know, Golden Boy just said that for whatever reason, Billy didn't take the fight. I thought he did, so, but we kind of didn't know what was gonna happen, whether we were gonna be on the card or not. I thought maybe they were. I thought maybe since Billy turned me down, then maybe they'll keep Billy on the card and get him a fight. But Golden Boy told me, you know, if Billy's out, then you're in, and we'll just get somebody for you. So I was kind of nervous for about a week because we didn't know who. They threw us like 3 names, and I just told Golden Boy, I said, look, man, I just want to be on the card, man. Just get me somebody. And you know, Willie Monroe, I guess he was already, you know, getting ready for something. So, you know, he took the fight. So I was just grateful to stay on the card. You know, it's a great opportunity.
I mean, we were on the assumption that Billy Joe Saunders would be fighting on the undercard, and your name was seemed to be the one that came up the most.
Yeah.
For what reasons were you told that that fight wasn't going to happen between you and Billy Joe?
Honestly, man, it was everybody was on board. Frank, his promoter, everything was on board. You know, from what I heard, Billy got what he wanted as far as the purse and things like that. But I was hearing that he was probably uncomfortable coming to the States. Then I guess he made a lame excuse that what does he get out of beating Rosado? And it was like, that's kind of like the dumbest thing, because it's like, what do you mean? You get an opportunity at possibly fighting the winner of the main, which most likely probably be Canelo. So that's kind of lame. You know, I just took it like he was intimidated of fighting in the States and then fighting a guy like me. So, you know, I think he wasn't too confident about coming out here. So I think that's really what it comes down to.
I read a quote somewhere that you feel like Billy Joe's holding that WBO title hostage.
Oh, he is, man.
Would you say that?
Oh, he's holding it hostage because it's like he's, you know, I see what he's doing. He wants to cash out on it. He knows how bad Triple G wants that belt, you know. So all of a sudden he's brave and he's telling Billy G whenever, he's telling Triple G whenever, right? So because he knows that that's a big payday. They know that they'll pay probably exactly what he wants, you know, for that belt, you know. So he's holding it hostage because a true champion wants to defend his belt. So a true champion says, especially from the UK, right, where when you want to be great, all the great UK fighters came to the States. Calzaghe, Ricky Hatton, all those guys came out here and they became stars, right? So this was his opportunity to kind of like allow everybody to know who he is. Only the UK really knows who Billy Joe is, right? So it was an opportunity on, it gets no bigger. Cowboy Stadium, I think it's gonna be like 50,000 plus. It's ridiculous. And then pay-per-view on the Canelo card. So the excuse that he gave why he didn't want to fight me was kind of lame, you know. Because if I was such an easy opponent, then that's a no-brainer, right? You get an easy check, and then you get a fat check to fight Canelo, right? If he gets past Smith. So it was kind of lame when I heard that excuse. I'm like, come on, man, you know, it's kind of lame.
Have you seen interviews with Billy Joe talking about you and this situation?
Yeah, I seen it. you know. And I seen the interview that you did with him, and he was saying, oh, you know, it was Rosado, you know, whatever, and you know, he's kind of sounding like, you know, it is what it is, you know, I'll fight whoever, but you know, I talk to the promoters. I'm self-managed. No one does the talking for me. I talk to myself. So I talk with the promoters. I talk directly with them. I go to Golden Boy's office. I know what's going on. So I get the scoop of what's really happening. So it just he didn't want to fight. So, but you know, I was disappointed about it for a day. You know, cause I was disappointed for a day, and then the next day it was back to camp, getting up at 4:30 in the morning and doing my road work, cause I knew something was gonna happen. So I knew I had to stay ready. And you know, once I found, you know, they gave me 3 names, and I just, my gut feeling felt that it was gonna be Willie, you know. So you know, we kept sparring, and we stood ready, and it is what it is.
What motivates you to keep going? You've been in with just about every half decent, the best middleweights there are around. It hasn't always gone your way, safe to say. What motivates you to keep going? I'm assuming aspiring to win that world title.
Yeah. And all years, you know, is to get the world title. But you know, I'm smart enough to look at my career and see how it was moved, and it's like, you know, if you really look at it, like, who's fighting back to back top-notch fighters? No one's doing that. You know, the way it happens is like you fight a top fighter, and then you kind of get like 2 or 3 simple fights, and then you go right back to a top fighter. You know, me, it was Triple G, then I stood at middleweight, and it was J Love, and I felt like I got robbed in that fight. And then it was Peter Quillen, and I felt like that was another fight that, you know, the fans felt that I kind of got like the, you know, shit end of the stick. So, you know, it is what it is. And then you know, I made the move of going down to 54. I said, all right, it's not, you know, I'm not having any luck at 160. So maybe I can do better at 54, and that was a mistake, because, you know, I kind of grew into the middleweight division. I kind of killed myself to fight Charlo to go back down to 54, and, you know, and then it was just top-notch competition. But we had some success in BKB. You know what I mean? We went to BKB. We fought Brian Vera. I knocked him out, you know, and he was just coming off of 2 great fights with Chavez. One of those fights a lot of people thought he won, you know. And, you know, we keep the ball rolling, man. So I think at this point, getting a good win against Clottey, who's a former world champion, you know, because you can't even call that a tune-up fight, because we talking, how can you call Clottey a tune-up fight? That's a former world champion. Yeah, he was a smaller man, but, you know, he fought big guys too. He fought Margarito. He's fought bigger guys. He fought punchers like Cotto, who eventually went up to middleweight. So Clottey's really not a tune-up fight. That guy could he could beat anybody, you know. And then Antonio Gutierrez, he's a tough young Mexican with a decent record, and he came hungry, you know, and we won that fight. But so we're coming off 2 good wins, and I think that set us up for a great opportunity now to like really look spectacular against Willie Monroe.
Do you believe a win over Willie Monroe Jr. can catapult you towards a world title shot?
Yeah, absolutely, because you know, it's a big stage, you know, and I think, you know, once the fans see that I'm on a winning streak, and me and Fernando, you know, have good chemistry going on, and, you know, people are going to see a new Gabriel Rosado, you know. People are going to want to see, they're going to want to see a rematch with possibly a Kid Chocolate or a Triple G, you know. They're going to want to see those fights, you know. Really, I could care less about a rematch with Kid Chocolate, but, you know, like Triple G, you know. I fought him 4 years ago. That's a possible fight. Canelo's a possible fight. But, you know, all that has to happen with a spectacular win against Willie. You know, I just can't win this fight and it be a boring fight. It has to be a spectacular win, you know, because at the end of the day, this is entertainment. So people want to see people win, but they don't want to see a boring match. So I want to be entertaining. I want to bring it and set the tone and apply pressure and really, really go for that knockout.
You fought Golovkin at a time where his profile was nowhere near where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he was an unknown, but in the last 4 years or last two or 3 years, really, his prominence has come to everyone's lips to call him pound for pound the best fighter on the planet.
Yeah, I have him top 5 on the list. Yeah, he's definitely top 5.
But when you, like I said, when you fought him, what year was that? 2012 was it, or
Yeah, I believe so.
2012? Like I said, it was.
Well, you gotta look at it this way. He was probably unknown, but you know that's his prime years because you know he was probably what 29 at the time. He's 33.
Yeah, 34, I believe he is.
Yeah, so you know that's prime time for a fighter. You know he just wasn't known, but as a fighter, that's prime time. You know what I'm saying he's probably a little more vulnerable now. You know he got hit with some really good shots by Brook. You know what I mean? Brook obviously is a smaller guy, but he got hit. He got hit in that fight. You know, but he's definitely entertaining because he comes to fight. He applies pressure. You know, he's a promoter's dream. You know, a guy that walks you down. He could probably outbox you if he wants, but he prefers to walk you down. So you know, he's an entertaining fighter, man. So you know, you gotta give him his props.
What did you think about when you heard the news that obviously Kell Brook, champion at 147, was moving up to 160 in his first fight to fight Golovkin? What was your initial?
It was kind of funny because you know Triple G had made comments towards Canelo fighting a welterweight, and then he fights a welterweight. You know, so but it's all business, right? But you know what I mean. It was a win-win situation for Brook because you know he's still the IBF champion. You know, when if he lost, he was supposed to lose, and if he won, then he was, you know, he'd probably be considered like, you know, pound for pound right now, right? So you know, it was just, you know, it was just, I guess a smart move on his part. You know, his corner stopped the fight, I think, a little too soon, but you know, it didn't look too good for him. So you know, he probably would have got.
Do you believe that they shouldn't have thrown the towel in when they did, or?
No, because I think what they should have did was, you know, Triple G threw a lot of punches that round. When I was watching it live, it kind of was like, all right, I guess, you know, because, you know, he was out of it. But then when I thought about it, you know, they probably should have waited to see how Triple G's win would have been in the second round because he threw so many punches that round that maybe the next round he probably would have gassed out a bit, and maybe that could have been an opportunity for Brook to start landing those uppercuts that he was landing. You know, who knows what could happen. But it is what it is. His trainer knows him better. You know, his trainer been with him since he was 9. So, you know, he probably saw something I didn't see.
We are seeing more fights being made at these, not say catch weights, but fighters having to move weights in order to fights being made. Same with Amir Khan and Canelo, and people have their opinion whether these fights should even be allowed to take place. Yeah. What's your opinion on that?
You know, I think... I don't know, man. It's just, it's kind of funny that it's happening, but you know, I think that's the reason why there's weight classes. You know, there's lightweights. You know, and it makes a big difference. Like I'm a middleweight, right? That's like me going up 2 weight classes to fight Kovalev. Like that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like that don't make no sense. That don't even make no sense for a puncher like Triple G, right? So. It's just crazy, man. But I think the way it is like, I guess the guys from welterweight are looking at it like, all right, I'll move up to middleweight and get that paycheck. And if I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. Who cares? I come back down to 47, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? So it's like a loss. That if you take the loss, it's like, all right, who cares? You were supposed to lose. So they're looking at it more like more business rather than like really caring about the record. You know what I mean?
You ever thought about coming to England to fight?
Yeah, man. Maybe if Billy Joe, you know, if he wants to do it out there, let's do it. You know, but yeah, I would love. I always said I wanted to fight in the UK, man. You know, I went to London like almost 2 years ago, and I was getting love out there. And I went to the Peacock gym. Yeah. And I sparred a couple guys there.
Who did you spar? Do you remember?
I sparred the guy that's on the card.
Anthony Yardy?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Me and Anthony got it in, and I sparred with him and another guy. It was 2 guys. So I went on vacation. I brought my sparring gear. I said, man, I'm gonna see if I find some work out there, and I did. So it's cool.
You know, because like whenever I interview American fighters or wherever, they always say kind of, yeah, I want to come to the UK. I want to fight in the UK, but very few of them, I suppose, get the opportunity to come over
Yeah.
to fight. So it is about opportunity. If it's presented in front of you,
Oh, absolutely.
the money's right for you, then why not?
Oh, I would love to. I would love to. You know, I got a big following in the UK, you know, on social media and things like that. And my shirts get ordered out there. So, you know, I get orders from the UK. So it's cool. I would love to fight out there. Yeah, man.
But in regards to your career, whenever anyone mentions your name, you very rarely are in a not an entertaining fight, and they always say, you know, Rosado, it was a close fight. This was, but you don't want to be known as someone that was just entertaining and was in great fights. You want to be known as a world champion before you retire,
absolutely.
surely.
Absolutely. You know, and that's the goal, man. And I think you know. I think what's the chances of a guy being a world champion when you built them the way I've been built? You know what I mean? It can happen, but it's difficult, right? You know, when you're fighting back to back competition like that, it's wear and tear on your body is difficult, you know. But what don't kill you makes you stronger, right? And the way I look at it is like, look, I've been through the storm, like I've been through that shit, right? So the way I'm seeing it now is like, okay, we got something good going on right now. Like we got to win against Clottey, and then we got to win against a top prospect, hungry Mexican from Tijuana, who, you know, he came and he brung his A game, right? And we beat him. And now is the big stage, and now it's like the pieces are set up for me to take care of business, you know. And me and Fernando, we got our head on right, and we got a good game plan, and we're focused. And Kent went good, so it's like we know what we got to do now. So the way I'm seeing it is like, man, it's like I'm restarting my engine, you know, and I'm gonna smash Willie, man. I'm gonna smash him, and when I smash him, it's gonna be a different Rosado, you know. And there's been fighters that have transformed later in their career, like a Martinez, a Sergio Martinez, you know, who, you know, by 30 is when the man began to elevate his game. You know, Bernard Hopkins in his late 20s is when he became a champion and he began to elevate his game. And I think what happens, it takes like strong character to like realize what it is that you got to change. And like, I think some guys take losses and then they put their mindset in the mentality of an opponent. And, you know, that happens to most guys. Where like me, I just kind of said like, damn, what I got to change? Maybe I got to start eating better. So start eating better, you know. Rest, you know, and strength and conditioning and more cardio and this and that and study more film. So it's kind of like just like doing the little small things that's going to make you better, you know, and I think that's what keeps me in the game.
Just a final question, Gabe. There's a middleweight in England that's very much talks about Chris Eubank Jr. I'm sure you've seen him fight. He was actually the one that was meant to fight Triple G before the negotiations. Well, didn't go that way basically before Kell Brook took the fight. What do you think of Chris Eubank Jr.? Have you seen him fight much?
Oh yeah, I've seen him fight, man. I think he's a decent fighter. He got a good work ethic, you know. Yeah, he's decent. You know, Billy Joe. I seen the fight with him and Billy Joe. It was a close fight. But you know, Chris is a good fighter.
Everyone wants that rematch as well.
Yeah.
They're both calling out Golovkin. It's just the middleweight scene is really is happening here and in England as well.
Yeah, no, this is loaded, man. You know, you got Billy, you know, but you know, Billy's only relevant because he got the belt. But I mean, what has Billy done? Let's just be honest. He hasn't fought since December, you know, and it's like no one knows who Billy is. That's the truth. And he beat. I think Eubank has more popularity than Billy. You know, people know Eubank more than they know Billy. So you know, Billy got to fight. You know, he got to fight. You can't hold a belt hostage, man, and you know, and pop off with your mouth and talk a bunch, and you're not doing nothing about it. You know what I mean? So he got to fight.
I think Billy Joe's last video was he was saying he wanted to fight Golovkin in a field. He's a gypsy. He wanted to fight him in a field. So.
Yeah, well, you know, he's
a
good talker. No, it will happen.
Gennady wants that last belt.
Yeah, like, you know, Gennady wants that belt, so it makes business sense. You know, he wants that belt, and you know it's a good look. You know, to unify belts. I think who was the last middleweight that did that? I think it was Bernard Hopkins. Yeah, Bernard Hopkins was the last middleweight to do that, and that's unique to do that. Like, what fighters have done that? You know, I don't remember the last fighter to unify the titles. Was it Bernard?
Probably. I can't think of.
Yeah, it probably was. So like that's like old school mentality. That's like, you know, the way fighters used to think.
Yeah, Bernard's like 75 or whatever now.
Right.
That was, yeah.
I know, but you know, but it's a fight. It's a fight that's gonna happen because there's gonna be money involved, and that's what Billy's banking on.
All right, Mr. Rosado, listen, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV, and wish you the best of luck this Saturday.
Thanks, man.
People will be able to watch your fight on Box Nation back in England.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So, and I'm sure Billy Joe Saunders will watch this video.
He'll probably say something about my mom.
Order t-shirts.
I hope he doesn't, but I can never control. I've had to cut a lot of stuff out of Billy Joe's interviews over the years.
Yeah, man.
It's not.
It's kind of ridiculous.
But thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, man. And you know, follow me at King God Rosado, and order your shirts at www.teamkgr.com.
Have you got one you're gonna give me or what?
I'm gonna hook you up. I got you. It'll be 25.
Call it 30. All right. Thank you very much, Gabriel Rosado.
Cool.
I'm Liam Smith. Watch my fight with Canelo Alvarez this Saturday live on Box Nation.